All right, let's dive into what could be the next massive shift in sustainability. We're talking about a topic that's been hiding in plain sight, but honestly, it's about to change everything. It's called water neutrality, and trust me, it's a concept you're going to want to understand before everyone else catches on. So think about it. When you hear the word sustainability in a meeting or on the news, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? For most companies, for most investors, heck, for most of us, the entire conversation just boils down to one single thing. Carbon. It's all about carbon. Net zero goals, carbon disclosure projects, decarbonization strategies. I mean, this one metric completely dominates the entire agenda. It is the undisputed king of ESG. But what if I told you that this laser focus on carbon has created a huge blind spot? What if, while we are all looking one way, another, even more critical resource has been getting dangerously low, posing a much more immediate threat? This is the number that just changes everything. 0.5%. That's it. That's all the accessible fresh water on planet Earth. Just let that sink in for a second. This tiny, tiny fraction has to support everything. And here's the kicker. We could very well run out of usable water long before we ever bust our carbon budget. So, how on earth did we miss this? Why is water the big blind spot in almost every sustainability strategy out there? Well, the answer really lies in how we track it, or rather, how we don't. It all comes down to traceability. See, carbon emissions are often centralized. You can picture it, right? A factory smokestack, a fleet of delivery trucks. It's relatively easy to measure that. But water? Water is a completely different beast. Its real footprint is scattered everywhere, hidden deep inside these unbelievably complex global supply chains. So your typical ESG dashboard, it might show you the water a company uses in its own offices or factories. But that's nothing. It completely misses the hidden majority. We're talking about the water used by suppliers to grow cotton for a single t-shirt, or the millions of gallons needed to cool a supposedly green data center. That's where the real story and the real risk is hiding. And this is exactly where this next huge shift in sustainability comes into play. It's a whole new concept designed to tackle this hidden crisis head-on, and it's called water neutrality. Okay, so what does that actually mean? Well, water neutrality isn't just about using a little less water. It's about achieving a measurable state of balance. The goal is for an organization to put back the same amount of water it takes out, creating effectively a zero-sum game for local water systems. And the whole process is built on four really logical pillars. First up, measure. You have to know your total water footprint, including all that hidden use in your supply chain. Second, reduce. You've got to get aggressive about cutting consumption. Third, recycle. This is all about creating closed-loop systems to reuse the water you have. And finally, number 4, offset. For any water use you just can't avoid, you put an equivalent amount back into the local ecosystem. And here's the most important part. This idea reframes the entire goal. It's not just about doing less harm or covering your company's risk. It's about becoming a net positive contributor, about actively healing the very water systems your business depends on to survive. So you might be asking, why is this all coming up now? Because this isn't some theoretical problem for 2050. The need for water neutrality is becoming critical right now, and it's being driven by 3 powerful forces all hitting us at the same time. First, you've got climate change, which is totally messing with the planet's water cycle. More evaporation, crazy rainfall patterns, you name it. Second, industrial water demand is just exploding for everything from microchips to clean energy. And third, you have communities all over the world hitting a breaking point, with real conflicts over water access. And if you think the green transition is going to solve all our problems, just look at this number. To get 1 ton of lithium for EV batteries, it can take up to 500,000 gallons of water. Our clean energy future is incredibly thirsty, and that creates a direct clash between our climate goals and our water reality. Okay, so the problem is enormous, and the urgency is definitely there. But is this whole water neutrality thing actually possible for a big company? Let's take a look at the practical path that some companies are already paving. So, yeah, is this even achievable? The short answer is yes, absolutely. A growing number of really forward-thinking companies are already proving it's possible, and they're making water their next great sustainability frontier. And most of these early movers are following a pretty clear 3-phase game plan.
It kicks off with phase one, really comprehensive measurement and accounting across their entire value chain. Then they move to phase two, which is all about aggressive reduction in creating those circular, closed-loop water systems. And finally, phase three is about replenishment, funding projects that restore wetlands or improve community water infrastructure. What this really comes down to is a fundamental shift in mindset. The old way of thinking treats water as just another utility cost to be managed down. But the water neutrality view sees it as a shared resource. The question is no longer how much did we use, but how much did we restore? It's a total pivot from just preventing risk to actually creating resilience. So where's all this headed? Well, all the signs are pointing to sustainability entering a brand new phase, one where water finally takes center stage. I mean, think back, a little over a decade ago, carbon accounting was this niche thing only a few leading-edge companies were doing. Today, it's pretty much mandatory. Well, the path for water disclosure is set to follow that exact same blueprint, but probably a whole lot faster. This is what's coming next. Water disclosure is going to become regulated by governments. It's going to be audited by third parties. ESG rating agencies will score it, investors will benchmark it, and it will be built right into investment decisions. Any company that ignores this is going to be left way behind. So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that the era of just making symbolic gestures in sustainability is coming to a close. Look, carbon neutrality might have won the early PR battle, but it's water neutrality that will truly define genuine sustainability leadership over the next decade. This isn't just a trend, it's a fundamental, non-negotiable shift. And why does any of this matter? It's actually really simple. Unlike almost any other resource we use, there is no substitute for water. And our world, our economy, and our entire future simply cannot afford to run out.